Alright guys, today we have another IBO kit review, but it will be the Schwalbe Graze this time, which is the custom Graze for McGillis Fareed. I don't know why it's a Schwalbe Graze, but it is what it is. Nobody really knows what Schwalbe means. It's just kind of fun to say Schwalbe. But this thing is really cool in the world of Grazes. Not only is it this awesome blue, because blue, but it's also just, it's customized for this dude. None of the other Grazes are kind of on this level of customization. And this box art really reflects that, and we'll get into more of it whenever we get into the actual kit. But you can see this, it's just beautiful. You got this great claw flying at you over here, thrusting in the background. You got some Mars down there, because in case you don't know, most of the series takes place on Mars. Then you got the nice little view of McGillis and his blonde hair and bluish green eyes, because space Nazi? I don't really know. He's a great character. He's he's an awesome pilot, and he's got lots of stuff going on in the background that nobody really knows about. But you got here the great IBO, Iron Blooded Orphans, Teketsu Orphans, right there in Japanese, in the awesome vertical flag form, HGIBO kit. Of course, all this down here. I'm assuming this says Schwalbe Graze or McGillis Custom in it. I don't actually know. I can't read that. Then you got the Bandai emblem down here, because Bandai is Bandai, and that's what we buy. That rhymed on purpose, I swear. Turn it down to the bottom here, and you got the great product shots. Here it is, flying and pointing its claws at people, and it says things in there. Shows the shoulders can move. Probably says that these cool little rockets can move on the back, which they can. We'll cover that later in articulation. Another great product shot of it flying and pointing a gun at people. Then, of course, you get the cool Graze eye inside. Sometimes a little weird. It doesn't have the standard little viewpoint kind of mono eye look. It's got an interesting little slit visor, which was part of the cool crustum. Yes, it's a crustum, guys. Cool custom Graze idea here. And then another great shot of it wielding its axe and flinging that claw at people, and I'm assuming that says claw can be extended on this wire. But then you get over here, the cool custom options. You get the cool lance thingy that it uses in one episode. But that is actually an option kit. It's pretty cool. I do have it on mine, so we'll take a look at that too. And then it shows that awesome shot of Barbatos actually wielding that cool claw, because he does steal it in the actual episode. Yeah, I think it's the third, fourth episode when they go into space and they get that. It's pretty cool. And come around this side of the box. Of course, it's just a copy of the top box art. This is number 3 in the series, so that's pretty neat. I didn't actually point that out before, because of course Barbatos is number 1, and then so on and so forth. And then you got BandaiHobby.net and another little Bandai emblem right there. Come to the underside, and you get the obligatory rear and front side, and you get a little bit of a read up there for McGillis. I guess if you really wanted to, you could probably snap a picture of that and, Google Translate it. Something I should probably do, so I actually know what it says about it. But then you get right here, and you can see gteketsu.com as usual. And you get the little story mode there telling us everything about it. I'm sure somewhere on there it probably says Gjallarhorn, which is the organization he works for. And oddly enough, you never get any emblems. I just now thought about that. You don't get any Gjallarhorn emblems like you would like a Xeon or any other type of faction symbol. And you get the obligatory warnings there. I just noticed that has a 3, that has an 18. Maybe you have to be 18 to not stick this in your face, because it'll kill you. Who knows? Then you got the cool emblems over here that I still don't know what they are, but I think this looks like a person in a toilet, and you should probably recycle it. PP. Oh, I just thought about that. You know what? I think this is basically telling me what kind of plastic it is, because it's got PVC there. Huh. Maybe that's what it is. It's 2 different types of plastic. Whatever PS is, and then PE, and then PVC. I know what PVC is. I just don't know what those are. I just now noticed that. That's kind of cool. And once again, you get down here, that's another really cheap kit. That is a thing for IBO. They wanted things to be cheap and available. So for another 1,000 yen, roughly $10, this is an amazing kit. Then we come down here, you get the illustration by Yamada Takahiro. That's new. And then you get special effect by Coma. Special effect. Okay, we'll look at that in a sec. Background image is once again by Saito Yoshinobu, which I really love your work. But it's upside down. It's always upside down. Maybe it means the image, because this is obviously drawn. This is obviously drawn. I think it means for special effect, I think it means the Mars. Because that's not drawn, really. That looks like it's more CG, just thrown there in the background. But, yeah, this is pretty awesome. Like the box. We're not really here to look at the box, are we? Well, you guys probably, somebody is. But let's go ahead and move on to the actual review of this kit. Alright, now that we've got this guy out of his box, we can now check him out in all his Schwalbiness. Once again, don't know what Schwalbe is. I don't know if that's a name or if it's a German word. Sounds very Germany. Germany. Anyways, moving on to check out McGillis's custom here. And it is really cool, guys. It's just, I like blue, and this thing is very blue. Very, very blue. It is blue all over. It is blue abadi abadi. Yeah, if you're old enough to get that joke, I'm sorry. But this thing is so cool. And as, you know, ubiquitous as Grazes go, this thing is even cooler than the previous Graze Kai. So let's take it off the stand here and have a look-see at it. That one actually came off a lot easier than the previous one. And you come in here, and this guy has thrusters everywhere. You got thrusters in the knees, the knee thigh area. It's kind of weird because the legs sort of flow. The knee is here, but this is sort of the knee at the same time. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you got all these, and you got the little bitty thrusters here for pushing it around. You got the slightly bigger thruster on the edge of the shoulder. Come around to the back. You got a butt thruster, which I just now realize I never painted in any way. Painted all the other thrusters in one way or another. That one I ignored. Don't know why. And then you get these guys back here, which are actually articulated. They all flop up like this, but then they also move like this. I don't know why you would ever want to, but you could totally like cross arm that. And then the axe falls off. But that thing is just really cool. And as usual, this one I painted and gave it a few little special effects. Got some gold in here. If you look inside the thruster, you can sort of see in there just a little bit of gold, a little bit of gray, silver out here. Of course, panel lining all over. This guy's full of barely any panel lines, but there's enough to make it interesting. And come up front to the head. I added a little bit of gold up here. This one's totally unnecessary, by the way, because it should just be blue, but I decided to make him stand out. He is a commander or something, a lieutenant, so I made him stand out a little bit more, which usually, the head crest usually designates somebody in charge. Same thing with the Zaku. Okay, and if you actually come in here, it's real hard to see because it's so tiny. Painted just inside there, painted the visor gold. Since we're talking about the Graze head, let's go ahead and pop it open. This one's a little harder than normal, guys, sorry. Pop it open, and we can look at that beautiful little Graze eye. Now this one, I'll just take that off, make my life easy. Instead of normally like black and yellow, give it a little bit of gold, and it's actually a metallic purple. It's real hard to see kind of in there, but just made it stand out a little bit differently from the other ones. But this guy, I don't think he ever really busts out his eye. I can't really remember. And of course, you get the standard Graze head articulation. I'm not going to mess with it too much because I broke the other one off. Or, well, popped the other one off. Didn't break it, but it's okay. Then you get the same shoulder articulation with the chest movement, just like you would out of the other ones. The swivels on the shoulder armor, they're a little bit loose, not going to lie. I don't know if it's just the way this one's constructed, or maybe it's just been around too much, but that's what it is. You get the same cool ball joint right in here, and then the obvious kind of swivel hinge there. Forearm rotation as usual, single jointed elbow, but you can get that much bend out of it. Wrist is the same, but this one's actually not moving much because this gun slash lance holds it in place. It actually pegs in right down here, keeps everything from moving. That's kind of nice. And in fact, this is painted. One thing that's dumb, in the expansion kit that this comes with, this all comes in this color. You know, this grayish brown frame color that Basically, all IBO things come in for the most part internally. But moving on, and this is something I couldn't show off in the Graze Kai review because it was blocked in. The hip skirts, and it's going to be hard to do. I don't have enough hands. The hips themselves, hip skirts. Here, let's see if I can get some light. They actually move on their own. They're on their own little pivot joint right down the middle, and then the skirts themselves move. It's an interesting way to do it. Of course, you get the obligatory Graze crunch, Graze ab crunch. It's pretty cool. And then you get the hip rotation, which is not much because the armor gets in the way. You can even hear clinking there. So it's not meant to twist very far, but, you know, it is what it is. It's a spacefaring robot. Doesn't need to twist that much. Come down, get to the hips. No actual hip/crotch articulation, but you get, of course, the normal. Well, let me pivot that out of the way. See how far we can go. Go about that far out with the hip movement there. You get the thigh swivel, which is now hindered because of these little thrusters here. And they are thrusters. They're just weird. They're just very stylized. They don't need to be. And of course, they can pivot just a little bit, swiveling just a little, just to be in the way some more. I guess you can turn it, get it out of the way. And then one cool detail versus a normal Graze, these weird knee/upper thigh thrusters. They're just there. They're cool. And I can get in there. You can see it, just a little bit of gold. I do that right in the middle of the thruster / some people say vernier. It is what it is. Now, one thing that does suck about these kits and anything that has this like dark navy color, it's really hard to get rid of nubs. It's hard to clean up really nice. So in reality, some of my nubs are not the greatest. In fact, I come down here and I can see some really bad paint swirling where I tried to clean something up and it just honestly didn't work out too well. And then you get down here, you get the Graze ankle tilt. It just flops all the way over there, all the way over here. Don't mess it up too much. And I forgot about this on the Graze Kai review. This thing itself, this actual little ankle guard, it is on a ball joint. It's just really hard to move. I guess I honestly don't know why it does that, because really it's just always in the way. Like, you can't really get it out of the way of the foot. And then, of course, the foot is on its own ball joint. And, as usual, obligatory Graze high heels, because space doesn't need big flat feet. And I forgot about the knees, but the knees can come back just as far as any Graze as long as you're not hitting the dumb butt skirt. This butt skirt is fixed. You can't do anything about it. In fact, this thruster, unlike the Graze Kai, doesn't really move either. It's got just a little bit of wiggle, probably just due to how loose that might be. And then another point, very different from a standard Graze crotch, which has movable flaps. You get these, which I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. They're straight on. Well, let's see if we can get in there. You can really see it right here. They just kind of point straight. I mean, you can't move them at all. They're all one molded piece with this crotch armor. Molded straight forward, almost like the wings of an airplane or the flaps of an airplane, and they don't go anywhere. They're just like that. And I've never understood what the heck those are for. I guess just to be different? I don't know. They serve no other purpose, and as far as I can tell, no other Graze that I've built has those. They'll have more like the standard Graze crotch. Graze crotch. Yeah, that. Alright, so that's it for articulation. Let's play with some of the toys, shall we? Because I think that's really what we want to see here. I really do like this lance. In fact, I had it on my Barbatos for the longest time. And because it's not just meant for poking things. Let's see if I can disassemble it here. There we go. So, I'm just going to go ahead and drop that. So the main one is like this. It has a handle for no real reason unless somebody wants to hold it like this. Just blah. But it's pretty cool. It actually slides in there. And this little bitty clippy is what holds it onto the forearm. But it's actually part little bitty machine gun. So you turn it this way. Of course, I added just the tiniest little bit of detail there. Little bitty machine gun. Just for shooting at guys. But then you get the cool. It just sets kind of in here. I can get it. Come on. There we go. And then, of course, it just clips into the forearm. I really like this detail. It's pretty cool. I do believe he lost it once again. Just in the first battle with Barbatos in the anime, he lost a lot of things. including this. He lost his cool little claw thingy. And I guess it's just a little grapple claw. I mean, what it doesn't do, unfortunately, here in this toy, it's fixed. It's supposed to open and close so it can grapple things. But the 1-to-100 kit does do that. Now you can... Oh, let me see if I can play with this properly. Come on, where's your peg hole? There you go. So I can pull this guy out. If it wants to, it's kind of fighting me. Okay. So you can totally pull this out. And... Oops, sorry. Wrong thing. It comes with this cool little adapter and wire. So you can actually have this thing shooting out. Let's see if I can get it together. Those little bitty holes and pegs are very finicky, guys. Not gonna lie about it. Now, I didn't do a great job cleaning this up, but I don't use this adapter for much. Now, it's a little limp. At least at that angle, it's a little limp. And you can see here, you twist it a little. If you play with the wire, it gets a little bit better, but it can totally do that. It can shoot the claw out completely come out like that. It's okay, guys. It's a fun little gimmick, but it's completely unnecessary for the most part. Let's see if I can get it to plug in there really well. If not, okay, take it off. It's fine. And then you get the obligatory Graze gun, Graze rifle. Comes all normally, of course, they all come in the right hand, but the right hand's busy with the lance, so put it in his left hand for fun. Now, one thing I will show you, because I talked about it and you saw it on the box. This guy totally comes off, and we'll leave him sitting here for the most part. And we'll come over here and get our Barbatos. Our friend, our good friend Barbatos, who's totally taking over this show now. So, now what I want you to do, because he totally steals this thing early in the series, is you can remove this forearm thingy. It just comes off right there. And you have this. These pegs right here. Sorry, got it backwards here. Those little pegs are holes. Yeah, those holes. That peg. Totally just clips in here. I'm doing this without really looking. Will it go? Doesn't want to go. Oh, I've got it upside down. No wonder. Sorry, guys. Like I said, you gotta be able to look. See what the heck you're doing. Will it go on there? Okay, hold on. I think I have to pull off this. There we go. That's probably gonna work a lot better now. This one go here. You know what really helps, guys, when you look at the instructions? Okay. Okay, I fully admit not looking at the instructions like I should. You got this armor. I don't think you can put this on at the same time. Let me double check. Do I have it upside down? Yeah, I have it upside down. Okay, you can roughly do both. And then we will pull this out. I gotta get the peg out of here. So I don't do this very often because I actually prefer it on the Schwalbe Graze, but you can totally do this, so I gotta show it off. Oh, I totally forgot. This thing has if I can get it to focus, there we go. It has a little groove right there that this slides into. So it only goes in the one way. Okay, and now you can totally have your Barbatos with a Graze claw for no real reason. But honestly, that's kind of annoying. And as you saw, not all that easy to put on. So we'll go ahead and take it back off of Barbatos. If it'll come off easily, which probably won't. Come on, get up. There we go. Alright, bring Barbatos out of the way for now. And put all this back together because we want our Graze to be Schwalbe. Schwalbe. Okay, and then on the Graze, it uses the front peg. On Barbatos, it uses the back because forearms. Cannot see what I'm doing. There it goes. Sometimes these little guys are finicky. Not gonna lie about it. Alright. Oh, and of course, because it fell off earlier and I totally forgot about it, you get the obligatory Graze axe. I do love these. Love me some Graze axe. And the fun thing is, it does come as a single piece, so you don't really have to assemble the axe. It just is. And, you know, because I did all the other little gold details to make this guy stand out. You know, a little bit of silver on the tips. Gold on the... I guess I don't know if that's really a pipe or what that's really supposed to be. And then here on the hilt and a little bitty guard there. You know, just added some details. And because I couldn't show it off on the Graze Kai, I will show it off here and tuck this guy right in here. Come on, peg in there. And that's how it mounts on the side there. So it can whip it out and hit somebody with it whenever he needs to. He likes to chop people into pieces. There we go. And this guy is just a lot of fun. And like I said, his character, well, I'm just going to say you need to watch. Because it's a good time. This particular Graze actually gets reassigned to someone else later on and gets a repaint. I don't actually have that kit, and that's okay. Because how many more Grazes do I really need? But, as with the other kits, we're going to go ahead and try to set it up in the rest of the IBO shelf. So, we'll just take a second. And here we go. There's the conjoined stand for everybody. And we've already got him going over here. Go ahead and peg him in back here. And like I said before, if you're wondering why I'm putting them just like that, it's because I'm going off an old picture of the way I had things arranged before. So that's sort of his planned spot. And we can come around this way so you can see a little bit better. But this is the beginning of what will be a very, very ridiculous IBO assemblage. And of course, it's meant to be only about this big and about this high because it's got to fit in my display case down the line, guys. But that's it for today's review. Remember to like and subscribe and check out all my other videos. I have, you know, Gunpla build videos. I have some new quickie videos that I've been doing of short little reviews. Check those out whenever you get a chance. And as always, keep on building.